Hi Cancer, welcome to the last 2 weeks of October. We're going to be doing general energies for the 14th of October to the 31st. My name is Jackie. Welcome back to those of you who've been here. Let's get right into this. I'm going to be working the astrology in this month, and I am doing this video on my phone for the first time in the attempt to actually get more time, because the camera that I have it locks me out after 30 minutes. It's very annoying. So for me to work the astrology in and give you guys a full reading that I'd really like to, I feel like I need like 40 minutes. So let's see how this goes. Hopefully it won't get cut out. If it does, maybe there'll be a part 2 or something like that. Let me move my chakra wand and let's get right into, we're going to be using, for your crowning energy, I'm going to be using the Black Moon Tarot. For the general energies, I'm going to be using this very cute Halloween Tarot. And for the clarifying energies, I'm going to be using the Illuminated Rider-Waite. Okay, so let's pull for your crowning energy. I hope you guys are doing well today. So this time period begins on October 14th, and that day we have Sun in Libra square Pluto in Capricorn. So Cancer, you and your significant other or a friend, family member, co-worker, boss, you might be feeling some sort of power struggle with them. It's very likely during this transit. So just get in touch with where you feel vulnerable in any way that might be clouding how you see others or situations in your life, okay, at that point. Or you might very well be on the receiving end of that. So it's really important to just be very careful, very honest, and evaluate the issues at hand. And that's going to really be very helpful to you, okay, during that transit. Okay, so let's see what we have for you. Crowning Capricorn, I use. Okay, so a lot of, it's giving me a vibe of work, work. Because when the Capricorn card turns up in a reading, it indicates a time of diligence and hard work, Cancer. There's going to be a gaining in status and reputation. Whatever you've been like toiling over, or especially something that you felt like you actually sacrificed for, you're ready for really awesome results to be revealed in this energy. Keep in mind that this game might be slow though, and kind of systematic. You're heading towards it. You're heading towards something that's very, very solid and lasting. And you're about to meet all the right people who will back you up, have your back, help support your goals. Some are going to be possibly greater in status than you, but they're definitely going to show you the ropes, support you in some sort of substantial way in this energy. And by all means, don't lose them, right? Don't do anything silly to push them away, or just feeling pushed to tell you that. This is an energy of drive, Cancer, and ambition. So you're gonna feel more driven than usual, and in essence, this energy is telling you, put your childish things away, right? Because Cancers love their childlike ways. Put your childish things away and really embrace this responsibility. Go for what you want, but in a very systemic way, Beware, though, of looking back and staying in the shadows, because this is definitely a time to not be afraid and really unleash your talents and what you know to be true about your inner self. Like, you're definitely getting in touch, Cancer, with what your true potential is, and it's time that you show everyone else. Now, if your question that you're coming to this reading with has to do with a romance or relationship, romance and relationship can definitely take on a more serious tone, because Capricorn is a serious energy. So matters should definitely grow deeper though and more committed, so that's really positive. Now, some of you may be in relationships. It's very common in this energy where your partner is older or higher in social rank, or you'll be guided by some sort of mentor or teacher who might be a little older than you, or just higher in rank. But really, it's this very, very positive outcome. But there's this progression, this gradual unfolding at its own pace. This not rushing matters, but you really just ending up on exactly the path you're supposed to end up on. Yeah, just career, your profession. These are also very important inflections here, so you can expect to see changes there too. So deepening of relationship, possible changes in your career path, but that's a very strong energy. I'm just going to put those there now. I'm going to use those for your blocks and the outcomes. These guys here, these cute little cards. We're going to pull for your general energy. So first I'm going to pull a card for you, and the person you're dealing with, or an external situation. So that second thing could be, again, your partner, or it could be your boss, your friend, a family member, just some sort of external situation to you. Could just be your work in general, right? Not everybody's in relationships. Not everybody's employed, right? General messages. And remember, the energies could be flip-flopped, you know. Energy doesn't understand time and doesn't understand the boundaries from what, especially when we're enmeshed with people close in our heart space. All right, let's see what we got. Okay, let's move this guy up. Okay, messages for Cancer. That's your past, so this is your present. This is your headspace. And then I'm going to pull 2 fears. Okay. So we're starting out with the Strength reverse, Cancer. So this is telling me that there is a person in your life or a situation at hand where you're really not feeling comfortable with a certain ego that you're being made to deal with. You're not feeling very secure in how you're approaching a certain person or situation. You're not feeling really confident. I'm sorry, this is in your past, by the way. You were not feeling very confident in where things were going. You knew what you wanted and you were really very diligent on that path, but I'm sensing a very clear vulnerability. Now this could have to do with money. It could have to do with your ability to just be autonomous in the relationship, and you just not feeling very comfortable in your own skin to actually do that. But I am getting that you thought you were more comfortable than you were, but now that this situation passed, it's pushing you to look at things differently. Okay, now the person or situation that you were dealing with in your past was the Ten of Pumpkins, which is the Ten of Pentacles. So this is somebody who really wanted this with you, because Pentacles is not only about money and resources, it's also about mental connection and physical connection and psychological connection. It's how we connect in relationships. So Cancer, I'm getting that you were dealing with a person, a boss, a friend, someone who really very much wanted this connection with you. Again, it's to me, for me, this is about connection. Now this person could also be someone who did quite well for themselves, but it's really such a beautiful attainment card, right? Energy. So this is them really seeing this with you, but you just not being in that same space with them for some reason or another. Okay, so let's go into the present and and the future, and then we'll see if we can't make heads or tails out of that. Because currently, right now, we have the Hierophant reverse. So this tells me that you're in a space of trying to figure out your truth, and you're trying to figure out, and when I say your truth, I mean this on a pretty global scale, okay? And this is not surprising me. And I'm going to tell you why. Besides that, what I mentioned on the 14th with the Sun in Libra square Pluto and Capricorn, going into that next day, in the 15th, we have Mercury in Scorpio, trine Neptune and Pisces. So while your creativity might be really turned up, you're going to find yourself questioning your everyday routine. Really looking at, feeling pushed actually, to really take a look at everything in your life up to this point. How are you processing things? How are you valuing, right? Because Cancer, by the way, you have a lot of energy inflecting your home sector, and you guys are home. So I feel like a lot of you are going to be dealing with issues with something in the home sector, whether it be a sibling, a parent, a child, or somebody who just feels like home to you. And you being in a space of rethinking, because the Hierophant is all about, upright is all about social standards, morality, how we frame our reality when it comes to our moral compass, right? And what we know to be true, right? What's true for us and our heart. And in the reverse, I feel like some of you are going to be getting bad advice from somebody. Some of you are just going to be thinking, really not totally tuned into your intuition. You just might not be seeing things as clearly in the big picture, because this is very much it's a major arcana, so it's a big picture card. And I feel like you are feeling these emotions regarding your home sector, regarding your relationship, regarding your job that are poking at you to make these changes. And I do want to just give you a heads up of what I'm getting. I'm feeling that um, you might not be, not that you're not seeing everything, but you might not be giving certain things the positive weight in your life that they deserve, that can actually end up helping you. Because this person or situation that you have has a Seven of Pumpkins, which is the Seven of Pentacles. And what is the Seven of Pentacles? Seven of Pentacles is about building for a next phase in your life, in their life, right? This is about wanting to figure out connection, figure out the mental space, the psychological space, how you guys connect. It's figuring out resources. It's what do we need to get to this next level? You know, and this is what I'm getting for your partner or this situation external to you. Okay, but I'm getting that you're assessing things where you feel like something's missing, Cancer. I'm getting that you feel like something is missing. Yeah, and look, we have in, you know, what's your headspace looking like right now? We have the Empress energy. Yeah, this is exactly what I was saying. So the Empress energy, the Empress is just beautiful. This is about where culmination and cultivation happens. She's the mother of the tarot. This is where ideas are created and they're cultivated in their birth, and then that cycle repeats itself. It's where resources are solid and home is good. It's very much a home card, right? The Empress energy. So I feel like you're very tuned into that Empress energy right now, and you're looking around saying, you know what, my life's just not giving me what I want for to be able to have what I want in my home sector. And I'm very much pulled to again addressing this home sector because I know you have a lot of energies and a lot of aspects in your house of home. So I am getting that you are really trying to figure out a new normal for yourself, if that makes sense. You're really thinking things through and trying to figure out a new normal for yourself. Now, as far as the headspace of the person that you're dealing with or the situation, we have the Two of Ghosts or the Two of Cups reverse. So when we have this reverse, this is telling me that things are amiss in the relationship sector. And you know what? Again, no one is escaping the relationship nonsense this month. No one is. We haven't seen transits like this all together in 30 years, guys. It's just the way it is. So if we look at October 19th, which is going to be Mercury in Scorpio, sextile Pluto and Capricorn. Remember, whenever the planets have sex, it's good for us, right? But doesn't mean it's going to be easy because we have that Pluto and Capricorn. So this is about deep, very necessary conversations, breakthroughs. If there's something that needs to be said, it's going to be said. Absolutely. Now, also in this energy, though, issues from the past are going to be circling back, right? Circling back. So conversations from the past are going to circle back, but bring much better results. Much better. And the Two of Cups reverse energy is very much that that idea of, all right, I want to share this with you, but I feel like things are very off. So we really need to have this conversation, because if we don't have this conversation, things are going to continue on this trajectory, and it's probably not going to be entirely positive for us, right? So we have a lot. I just want to say, like, in the middle of this time period, we sort of have a lot of stuff going on, because then on the 20th, we have Venus in Scorpio, sextile Saturn in Capricorn. This energy is going to support very successful negotiations in relationships of all kinds. And when I say negotiation, I mean like for the good or for the not so good, because this is a general reading. So it depends on, you know, what else is in your chart and where you guys are at. But there are going to be solutions, like deciding what needs to be done for this next step, you know? But I feel like because we have Venus and Scorpio trine Neptune and Pisces on the 21st, right after that, which is really going to amp up romance, really bring in emotions. You guys are a water sign. The emotions are going to be running high. Those of you who are engaged in sexual relationships, sex is going to feel and be different during this aspect. There's a deepening aspect to this, but there's also a transitional type of aspect where some of you might be connecting sexually and intimately with a person and just kind of feel like, you know what, something's like off, right? Like things just don't feel the same anymore. I really need to look at this, right? And that's only for some of you. Others of you, it's just going to be this incredible deepening, this beautiful deepening. And for those of you not in sexual relationships, you may begin to see and feel the vibes in your friendships and in your family connections deepening, but it's changing. Nonetheless, there's definitely this changing going on, right? And then we have in your fears sector, you have the Hermit reverse, which just tells me, yeah, I mean, Capricorn can't, oh my gosh, are you dealing with Capricorn? So sorry. Cancer. You're feeling really, really introspective, but you're not really communicating it with too many people, if anyone at all, because when the Hermit's reversed, the Hermit's very much about seeking your own counsel and keeping very sort of inside your space. So when I see the Hermit reverse, I always like to say, you know what, guys, turn it up. Turn it upright, because we can turn our own cards upright, turn it upright and just take the mental space that you need to figure out whatever it is that you're going through right now, because you really are trying to reconfigure things in your life in a way where you have more balance, because I'm feeling like a lot of you feel like there's a lack of balance between what you want your home to look like, your home life. Maybe there could be something off with one of your kids. Maybe they're going through a very emotionally challenging time, and you need to be there for them, but you also need to work, and you also need to take care of your other relationships, and you might be feeling very torn right now. I mean, that's definitely could be one narrative that's indicated here, but very, very pensive nonetheless. And this is actually the thoughts that are occurring to you, and everything that's occurring to you is really, it's in your fear. You're scared of what you know needs to be done. This is not comfortable for you. And then we have here the Two of Bats, which is the Two of Swords. This is in the fear sector of your partner or this external situation. I mean, this very clearly tells me that they do not want to be at odds with you, that they're afraid of having an argument. They're afraid of opening up and telling you exactly everything that they feel, for fear of there being discord, for fear of the relationship getting pulled off track, for the fear of maybe, if it's not an intimate relationship, maybe that you're going to quit, if it has to do with a job, or that things are just going to be really weird around the workplace if there's honesty. So I'm getting that this person or this situation is really fearing being at cross purposes with you, okay? And then we also have the Page of Bats reverse. So, yeah, so to me, this is telling me that, because because this is the wands, right? So when upright, this is swords rather. So upright, this would indicate somebody coming in with new ideas and, a new way to frame reality. But I'm getting that you feel very afraid of there being dishonesty in the mix here. Now, this could be you not being honest. Cancer, because this is the funny thing with Cancers, okay? Because you're so sensitive, but you're also so intuitive, right? And you're so protective, right? And your Cancer shell and all of that. That often, and I want you to, those of you who don't know, I'm Cancer rising, so I'm right there with you. We're not 100% honest with ourselves about things sometimes. Like, we know it intuitively, we hear the truth, but for a million reasons, we don't want to actually bring them to the surface. We'd rather scoot along sideways and try to avoid it, right? And I'm just feeling like there's some sort of truth going on here that you don't want to fully embrace it. You don't want to see, you don't want to look at. And I have to tell you, I'm getting very, very strong that it's your truth. Very strong that it's your truth that you don't want to look at here. So then we have the Eight of Pumpkins, which is the Eight of Pentacles reverse. And this is, in the upright, this is about, you're on your way to attainment. There's a lot of pentacle energies here, right? We have 3 out of the 5 of pentacle energy for this partner or this external situation that you're dealing with. And I'm getting that they're afraid that they are just not going to have this wish fulfillment with you. It's like they're vibing something's off. Yes. All right, you know what? I'm going to pull I want to know more about these fears. What's going on with these fears? Because that's what's creating that Hierophant reverse, right? Because Cancer, honestly, if you're dealing with a narcissist in your relationship, or they're like crazy, or they ghosted you, they gaslighted you, they did anything like that, then this is not your reading for relationship. And think about how this could maybe apply to your life in another way. So definitely check out your Venus for that, or your rising or moon. Messages to help clarify these fears. Cards are hiding. That's so Cancer. Why are they hiding? Some information on Cancer's fears. This is for Cancer only. All right. Well, yeah. The moon is secrets. You guys are the moon, right? But the moon is secrets. And the moon is also, in addition to it being secrets and where we do things in private and what we think in private, This is very much, there's something, you're keeping something very close to your chest, Cancer. But at the same time, I feel like you're also checking out a new path in your life, right? Because the moon is also, I don't know if you could see it in this, no, it kind of does. If you see that path up there, right? The path is always something that should be understood and acknowledged as well in the moon card. It's this understanding that, maybe I'm not being totally honest with myself about where I am right now. And, maybe I need to think about, going down a different path in some way. In some area of my life, maybe it's my career, but I do feel, because of this heavy home inflection, that it's you really trying to think about how can you do things differently to make things different in your home space. And again, this could even be in relationships that you consider to be like home to you. And then we have the Chariot reverse. This has to do with your fears. So not only are you afraid of these things that are not revealed, whether it be to yourself, whether it be somebody else, you're also very not trusting of a person or a situation to not go off track, for somebody to promise you something and not come through with it, for it to be more lip service than anything else. That you're afraid of that, Cancer. You're definitely afraid. You're afraid of not having enough resources. You're afraid of not having that connection. You're afraid of not having this ultimate happiness if things continue as they are, and it's really tripping you up in your headspace, because then we have the Eight of Bats, which is the Eight of Swords reverse, and this is you just being very deeply entrenched in feeling like things are just not the way they're supposed to be. And this, to me, this goes back to the Hierophant, which is what you're feeling now. So I understand your fears, but now I'm going to sweep this. Now let's go into what your blocks are. Because our fears don't always block us. Our fears is like the things that keep us up at night. Blocks are the things that actually get in our way, things we have to deal with. And quite often it's things that we have to just very actively work through in our mental space, or sometimes there are things that we have to really work through in our, pragmatic day-to-day. Could be that coworker that you have to have that final sit down with. It could be the conversation that you finally have to have. I feel like, listen, we're all having conversations. I'll talk more about that as we go along, but conversations are happening. They're all very necessary. And there's still, we still have these dribbles of fog. But what's tricky about this energy is that we feel like, because a lot of us have felt the fog lift already. What's tricky about this is that a lot of us feel like we have all the answers when we actually don't, or the things that we think are the answers aren't actually the best things for us, you know what I mean? So let's see what we have. Okay, so blockages. Okay, I'm doing it in the same style as before. So 2 for blockages, 2 for outcomes, and then I'm sure I'm going to be pulling more for outcomes. All right. I hope this video is coming out okay as far as volume and stuff. I hope it doesn't cut out. Okay, so 8 of Cups. Blockages. Part of a blockage for you is you're feeling disillusioned and you're feeling very poked to make big change and walk away from the way something is. Okay, Cancer. All right, first of all, let's just talk about the fact that on October 27th, we have a new moon of 4 degrees of Scorpio and Mars in Libra, square Saturn in Capricorn. So even though this new moon carries potentials for great new phases in relationships, the thing is we have this concurrent aspect with Mars and Saturn that just really does amp up the chances of us having to deal with obstacles and frustrations and this sense of restlessness into the 28th when we have the Sun in Scorpio opposing Uranus and Taurus. Like, a lot of us are going to be feeling it on the 28th. Restlessness, sleeplessness, anxiety. But the thing is with this, and what I like about this for you here, is that many people, not everyone, but many people are going to be experiencing very strong intuition and these sudden insights from out of nowhere that can really end up shifting your path in a very pragmatic way in your life. So you really want to pay attention to these little seeds of ideas. You hearing someone say something, hearing something in a song that you didn't hear before, noticing something on the way to work, reading something online, and it just like kicking up a whole bunch of ideas for you to make changes in a certain part of your life. And you do feel like it has something to do with your home. Something to do with how you deal with your family, with your children, with your partner. But you're going to be having this realization that you may have to just really work on shifting your ideas and shifting your consciousness. But this is going to have to be done very actively, Cancer. And I feel like the person or situation that you're dealing with, they're going to be made to really tap into their higher consciousness, their intuition, and they're going to have to be a little more cup-like in order to be with you, really tapping in and getting in touch with their emotions. So some of you, if you're dealing with, maybe one of the stronger signs that, aren't so emotionally driven, like a Virgo or a Capricorn, not that they're not beautiful signs, but, because you're a very watery energy, right? So you're very, very sensitive, and not having that given to you may be a point of contention within your relationship or your situation. And I'm getting that your partner is really going to be put into a space of realizing, you know what, I really need to tap into my life experience, my experience especially with this person, with you, with this Cancer, and understand where maybe I need to make some adjustments and changes in order to make this happen. I need to tune into my inner voice a little more and not be so trapped in the external of everything. And this is such a great example, though, of things that are going to be coming out with these intense conversations, right? I mean, conversations are really just heavy from the 14th to like really until the 31st. I mean, really just heavy conversations that are just very, very necessary, really necessary. And then we have in the block also for you is the Page of Pentacles. So this is you feeling like you don't have enough, like you're not going to have enough. You're not going to feel, you're feeling very much like, if I make a change in the areas that I'm feeling poked to make a change in right now, I'm not going to have enough support. I'm not going to have enough maybe resources. Maybe you don't have enough resources. Maybe one of your children needs money and you don't have the money to give them right now, and this is creating a real blockage. Maybe you have to figure out a way of getting creative in order to help them. Maybe trying to get a loan, asking for somebody for help outside your circle, something like that. If this is within your relationship, this could be you realizing that you're just afraid that you're not going to be able to show up in the way that's necessary, that your partner really requires in this relationship, just because you feel like you have so much stuff in your mental space right now that you might not be able to show up the way they need, or obviously vice versa, that they won't be able to give you what you need. And that's something the conversation needs to be had on. Like, that's definitely one of the points of the conversation. And so is this Ace of Swords reversed, because the Ace of Swords, I'm getting that the person or situation you're dealing with is not being completely forthcoming about how they're feeling. I really feel like they're saying one thing out of one side of their mouth and out of no malice. They're feeling these things inside. I feel like whoever you're with or the situation, they're vibing stuff from you, Cancer, and it's making them uncomfortable. But because they don't want to address it with you, they're giving you some lip service to kind of wait and see what happens, is what I'm getting. But I'm getting that, like, this is more of a lying through omission than a straight up dishonesty vibe. That's what I'm getting here. Again, general message, right? So, definitely not a narcissistic energy here, guys, at all. Not even any of the elements of it. So if you're dealing with a partner who is a narcissist, think about again what other part of your life this could apply to. It might have to do with your boss, but I'm getting that the block for them is being able to be fully honest with you. Okay, and these are the blocks. But now let's check out the outcome and see if we can get some really good advice for those blocks. 3 of Cups, beautiful for you, right? 3 of Cups energy is about celebration, and it's about realizing that you're going in a better direction. This is feeling loved and connected, and you're celebrating. This isn't only with a significant other. This could be just with family and friends, and you haven't gotten over a hurdle, and you just really want to celebrate with the people who you just really, really care about. And I like this, because when we have on the 25th, Venus and Scorpio sextile Pluto and Capricorn, we go from that quirky Neptune from the day before into the sextile. That's like amping up romantic or financial connections or breakthroughs in love or money are very likely in this energy. So I feel that that's going to ultimately end up being your story, Cancer, is that you're going to be getting this help from someone. Something's going to be coming in to give you what you need, and that's going to be different for all of you, right? Now, the outcome here, we have the Ace of Wands reverse, which tells me that the person or situation that you're dealing with, they feel very delayed and unmotivated at this point to move forward with you. Okay, and I need some qualifiers on that, because while you're celebrating some sort of external something benefiting you, I feel like this person or situation that's been present right throughout this reading is feeling very unmotivated, and they might even be like manipulating you in this energy, I do feel like. But then we have, for the second outcome card for you, we have the Queen of Wands reverse. So you too are feeling like this sense of delay and this lack of wanting to move forward, but with this person or situation. So I feel like you're acknowledging that something needs to change here. I don't feel like this is at all negative. I think this is positive. This is you kind of putting your foot down. But your partner here, we have the Judgment reverse, and this is them not being happy with this outcome at all, because they feel like they've been disrespected and that you've taken advantage of them, or they could very well be taking advantage of you, and you're just becoming very wise to it at this point. But the way I'm reading this right now, I feel like they were not being evaluated, and they were not being treated in a way that is true to them, if that makes sense. Not a way that's true to them. Please give me some more outcome cards, please. Cancer. Outcome cards for Cancer. Outcome cards for Cancer only. Outcome cards for Cancer only. Okay. All right. So you're going to be confused. You're going to feel that there's some sort of manipulation going on in your life. You just are, Cancer. You're going to be very confused between 2 paths, 2 people, 2 situations, 2 jobs. But the thing is, you feel this way because you feel like you're not being treated fairly. Something is unhealthy for you regarding this person or this connection. And then we have the King of Cups reverse. The Knight of Cups reverse. So this is telling me that you have a real issue with this person or this situation and how they're handling themselves. You feel like they're being very irresponsible, and that they're not being as responsible as they should be to this particular cause. So for some of you, this could be, I'm going to give you for an example. Some of you may be dealing with a situation within your home space with your children or with a family member, and your partner is really not, you really don't feel like your partner understands the seriousness of it. Your partner does not have your back in the way that they should, that they're just not there for you, that they kind of step out, they're being irresponsible. I am getting from many of you, because anytime we have the cups reversed, it could always be indicative of, partying too much kind of thing, intoxication, energy, and you're just feeling that they're really not in that space for you. And then you just really, honestly, Cancer, you're putting an end to it, or at least how it was, because then we have the Tower reverse. And the Tower reverse is the same as the upright. It just includes more fighting, more bitterness, more anger, more drama. Now, the Tower can be the ending of a relationship. It can be the ending of a job. It can be the ending of any kind of relationship. It doesn't have to be an intimate relationship. It doesn't have to be a job, right? It really doesn't even have to be that dramatic. It could even be the absolute end of an unhealthy way of thinking. And in other words, your relationships stay intact. You still keep your job. Everybody's okay. But you have completely shifted how you view reality. You realizing that the way you've been living up to this point is not serving your ultimate good. And if you don't make changes now, because you have all of this supportive energy with this eclipse having gone on with you and Capricorn, and all of this energy is pushing you into this next phase of your life. Like, you're just knowing, if this is not the ending of a relationship, a job, this is you going in and doing an absolute internal overhaul on yourself, Cancer, which I love. This is awesome. This is you just recognizing your negative patterns. We all have them. None of us escape it. What have you been allowing in your life that you're just not going to allow anymore? Where do changes need to be made? Do you need to be different in how you handle your family? Maybe you need to be more forgiving. Maybe you have to stop being so forgiving. Even including with your children, and just with your extended family, or friends who you consider family, or intimate others who are in your home space like family. Because then we have the Ten of Cups reversed. This is beautiful. The Ten of Cups reversed means just this. This is why I'm mentioning this here. Because the Ten of Cups is still very positive, even in the reverse. It's still going to happen, that beautiful utopia with deepening communication and all of that. But this indicates delay. And the delay is because of an external situation to you or to your relationships. This is a situation with family going on that needs to be dealt with before this Ten of Cups can go upright. It is temporary. It's not permanent. It's a minor arcana. You're going to get past this. You just have to go through it with an open heart and lots of honesty, and just keeping your eyes open with a ton of patience, a boatload of empathy, and just figuring out how to make this thing work in the way where kind of everybody is happy, but you are happy. This is really about you being happy as well. Because a lot of times in this Ten of Cups energy reverse too, this is about these forced kind of conversations to save face, right? Like acting like everything is okay on the outside when it's really not. In your relationships or at home, it's like, oh, how are things at home? Oh, fine. Meanwhile, you found out that one of your kids has an issue with drugs, or they're not doing well in school, or they're struggling with some sort of depression,